Hello and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is December the 1st, 2024, the day when we see the slideshow for the previous month. And I'm going to be changing that in a little bit. Welcome everybody. I know this is a favorite episode of everybody's to see every month. For those that are new, I am coming to you from Chatham, Ontario, which is the southernmost tip of Ontario and Canada. And we woke up to a little bit of snow this morning, not enough to count for anything. You can still see the grass peeking through, but it's letting us know that winter's on its way and we're in the month of December preparing for Christmas. And every month I do this slideshow showing the makes that my viewers have made during the month based on a picture that I show them. And this year, every month, I've been showing a picture of a tropical bird. Next month, it'll be butterflies, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next year, not next month. December is still tropical birds. Next year will change. So I'm glad to have you all here. And I'm going to start by talking about what I'm wearing because this is what I made for the bird this month. And I'm going to pop a picture up in the corner so you can see the bird. And in the end, I only used the one skein of yarn. I did not use the plain brown one. This is a pattern, I believe it's called Red Clover. It is one of those great one skein wonders. And this is a pattern by Carmen Heffernan. And she also has a website, and I believe it's called Annie Design Crochet. I will put a link to this pattern down below, and if I remember, I'll put a link to her website as well. Now this yarn is Savvy Skeins, and it's their Sensible Sock Base. It's 80% superwash and 20% nylon with 420 yards in it. It's fingering weight, and the color is Red Panda. And it worked up very nicely. It feels like most merino nylon blends, and it was quite an easy repetitive pattern to follow, and I was able to do it in, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. I enjoyed it for a change, doing something a little more straightforward and easy. So that is what I made for the month. And just before I get into the slideshow, I forgot to do this on Thursday, but I wanted to show you that I found a place for my cute little chickie that was gifted to me by Lisa, and I found a place for my cat, and that was gifted to me by Kathy, but made by Tammy, and he's leaning against the edge there, so I think he's secure. So I've managed to get everybody in. I don't know if I could ever squeeze another one in there or not. It would be tight. Anyhow, and now we want to get into seeing the items that all of you have made for this month. So once again, I'm going to put your pictures right across the screen because you want a good view of what people have made. So I'm going to start with this blanket. This is from Marie in Virginia, and she says this is blanket number 11 for Boggy Creek. She said she had a big box of them to send with a lot more than 11 in them, but thank you again, Marie, and I'm sure the kids will thank you as well. Next, from Cheryl, who is in Oregon, we have this amigurumi cat, and it comes from amigurumitoday.com. I have to guess it's a website with lots of amigurumis. Then Josephine has made, Josephine's from North Carolina. She's made this Buddy Reindeer, and it's free from Crafty Ever After. I'm starting to see more amigurumis lately. I think they're all adorable, although I'll never make one. Next, from Demetra, who is in Ontario, I know now. This is a little hard to see. I think the picture's taken just a wee bit too close up, but it is knitted, and it is a Celtic hood, and it's by Sarah Dawn's Designs. All I can really see is the cable in the white part. Next, we have two items from Denise. Denise is in Minnesota, and she has made this hat and a matching hat and cowl set. And thinking this was pretty much all her own design because she didn't say anything about it. Then we have from Raylene, who is in South Australia, we have this oval mat or table runner. She's using it as a mat for her fur baby, and it's a pattern tutorial from Bag o' Day. It's Crystal's pattern. She was a little concerned about all the ruffling, but I don't think your fur baby will mind it at all. Then Judith, who is in California, has submitted this hat, which is from a YouTube tutorial by Bonnie Bay Crochet. It's the easy pumpkin hat. She said she didn't quite make it in a pumpkin. And then we have also from Judith these mini dinos, and again from a tutorial on YouTube by Mary Makes. Then Bonnie, who lives in Pennsylvania, has sent a picture of this pillow topper, and it is a shell stitch granny square by Sarah Holloway from Lucky Kate Crochet, I believe. And she's also submitted a picture of the Cozy Cabin Beanie, which is a pattern by Jonah Martinez. Then we have Melissa. She's from Texas, and she's done a Bag o' Day pattern, and it is this half circle shawl. Then Tammy, who is somewhere in Canada, has done this hat, and I don't have any further information than that. Then we have Barbara M., and Barbara is in Alberta, and she has made this Bernard houndstooth scarf, and the pattern is by Alexandra Tabel or Table. I'm not sure how that is said, and I apologize if I messed it up. Then we have Lisa, who is in Ontario, and she has done this Be Simple shawl. It is by Carolyn Glaus Tondrank. It's a hyphenated name. It's a pattern on Ravelry. She says you can't really see the sparkle, but it is shawl in the ball, so we know it sparkles. Then we have Maria. Maria didn't say, but I'm hoping my memory is correct in saying she's from Massachusetts. And she has done this Oree, O-R-E-E shawl. And it is a free pattern on Ravelry, which she added a border to. Then Renee, who is in Alabama, has once again done a sweater set. It's the same pattern as before. It's the Magnus sweater. Magnus sweater by Knits du Nord on Etsy, and she makes these to donate. And Lillian, who is in Ontario, has submitted this set of coasters. Then Tina, who is in Australia, has done this mountain laurel shawl, and she says it's a pattern, would be a tutorial, I believe, from Fiber Flux. Carmen, who is also in California, has submitted 2 items. The first is the basic beanie with ear flaps. And this is a pattern from Bag a Day from Crystal on YouTube. And second, we get a shawl, I think it says shawl in a ball, shawlette, or maybe it's just called a ball shawlette. I'm not really sure, my notes aren't the best. Shawl ball shawlette by, and this is done by Pamela's Adoring Crochet, and once again, she is on YouTube. Then Christine, who is in Kentucky, she has again submitted us her large square. She said this is larger than usual, and it is the stacked granny square, and she gets this from Jada in Stitches. And I'm going to talk later about all of those people that are doing squares for blankets. Next, Jackie, who comes from North Carolina, has done the Agatha reading shawl. She commented it must be my favorite, and it again is a pattern from Ophelia Talks. I think since I've made it several times, it's become a little bit of a favorite of a lot of you out there. A number of you have given it a try. I know that. Kimberly, who is in Florida, has done this Autumn Aspirations blanket, and it is a tutorial from Juan the Yarn Addict. And Nina, who is in Massachusetts, has made this hat, and it is a pattern from Bag a Day, but she has made modifications to it. And Judy T, who is in Ontario, has once again done the Splendid Serendipity Square. It's a pattern by Loopy Stitch, and she says she has now completed 15 of the 16 squares. So the 16th one will be in December colors coming up. Next, we have another Melissa who is in Pennsylvania, and she has done this cowl, which is the Bonnie Bay crochet ribbed scarf. So am I correct in believing you altered it a bit to make it into a cowl? And Linda, who is in Illinois, has knit this hat, and it's by Danny at Nitty Gritty. And Diane, who's somewhere in the US but hasn't told me exactly, she has made a scarf and a hat. So the hat is MJ's Off the Hook pattern called Snuggle Winter Beanie. And the scarf is the Cozy Winter Scarf by Kristen Cagle on Etsy. And Rebecca, who is in Mississippi, has made this shawl, which she says is very straightforward. It's her own pattern. Then we have Barbara B., who is from Missouri, and she has made this folded brim hat, which is a tutorial from Bag O' Day. Then we have Bonnie, who lives here in Chatham, and she has made a simple granny stitch shawl, again, of her own doing. And HD, who I think is currently in India, has made this ice cream amigurumi. And Kathy, who is in Ontario, has made a shawl. It is by Maria Bittner, and she is from the Pattern Paradise website, and the shawl is called Spring Showers Shawl. And Adam, who's in the UK, has made two slightly different cowl hoodies. You can see the hoodie, I think, in one, but not in the other. I think these are his own creations. Debbie W., who is in California, has made the Bankhead beanie, and it is a pattern by Susie Gourlay. And Susan says this is her own hat pattern. I'm not a big hat person, and I give credit where you can do your own patterns. Then Donna, and I don't know, I have more than one Donna. I'm guessing this might be the Donna from Ottawa, but there was nothing to indicate her name or where she was from or anything. I'm only going by the fact that I had another Donna. And this is a scarf she's done that's called Opposites Attract, and it's a pattern by Two of Wands. Then Debbie P., who is in Arizona, has made two blankets. The first one is a chevron pattern blanket, and the second one is a corner to corner. They are both going to be gifts, and both do not have any special patterns. Then Cindy, who is in Costa Rica, has done the seaside shawl, and she said she would send me the designer, but I don't think she remembered. Then we have Deb, who is also in Arizona, and she has done this pattern called Island Dreams, and it's from Make a Weekend Afghans. And Ellen in Illinois has two patterns for us. The first one is a folded rib cowl, and the second one is a hat that's made out of alpaca. And that's pretty much all I was told. Then we have Tammy. Tammy lives in Ontario. And these are called Joe's Perfect Slipper Socks, and they are by Cozy Up Knits. Then we have another Donna, and this Donna is in New York. That's how I deduced where the other Donna was from. And she submitted two. The first pattern is called Shine On, which is a one skein by CJ Brady. It's kind of a cowl, not a full scarf. And then she's done these little barrel cactus by Nuria Alvarez. I should say barrel cacti by Nuria Alvarez, more amigurumis. And Rosanna, who is in Ontario, has once again submitted a wheelchair Afghan, and she makes one monthly based on our colors for a donation, I think, to a senior's residence. And that brings us to the very end of our list. This month, we had 41 submissions. So that means the number is down a wee bit. But given how busy this time of the year is and people are celebrating Thanksgiving this week, I think a couple maybe forgot to send them in or didn't quite get them finished because of all of the holidays and everything that's coming up. So that's still pretty good, 41. We'll see what December, I'm feeling December will be down as well, depending on when people get busy at it. So I was happy with that number of submissions. And I want to say this, and I'm not trying to be mean in any way or complain or point fingers. But I have to say, this month was the best month for the submissions really reflecting the color of the bird. It was pretty hard to add in a whole lot of other colors and make it so busy that you would miss the main color. But I thought it was very, very well done this month in sticking to the colors of the bird. So I commend you all and I thank you, because that's the one thing that is beginning to start to bother me a bit, is you see a color in the bird, but then you add in so many other colors that often I don't actually see the overall color of the bird or the look of the picture. And I hope in the new year we can kind of stay a little better focused on the color in the picture without a whole lot of other colors. Something we can talk about later. Sorry, I've been having a little bit of trouble with my throat today. I woke up with a very sore, dry throat. Okay, next I know we're looking for our wheel. This is always something I forget to do, and then I come down here and say, whoops, you got to get the wheel ready. So, are we ready? There we go. Spin away and wait till it comes to a stop and tells me that the winner is Rosanna. And Rosanna, you just barely made it in time. Lucky for you that you did. Now, this is going to be a little bit different this month. As you probably know, if you've been paying attention to me, we are on a countrywide postal strike. There is no mail going anywhere for the foreseeable future. And once they do come back to work, and who knows when that will be, it'll be forever catching up with the pile of stuff that's accumulated. Now, the last time, I mentioned this before, the last time they went on strike, they were on for 35 days before the government mandated them back. I suspect it'll get close to the same again this time. So I've decided I'm not going to send out one of my usual cakes of yarn. They'll keep until things get all sorted out. So what I'm doing instead for the foreseeable future, through December even, I generally have a lot of gifts to give during December, and I don't think I'm going to be giving any. And I have decided instead to gift a Ravelry pattern. So Rosanna, you would need to get in touch with me. Let me know what your Ravelry call name is. Pick a pattern, any pattern. Let me know what pattern you would like, and I will send it to you. I think that's the fairest thing I can do during this circumstance. People always enjoy getting patterns, and I don't have to worry about mailing anything. In the future, that may become my usual monthly prize, but I still have more of those gradient cakes to give once the mail sorts itself out. But I strongly suspect for the month of December, I'll be doing the same thing, and that is gifting a free pattern. So Rosanna, you need to get in touch with me. I know you have my email address, and I'll take care of that as soon as I hear from you. All right. Now, The next thing we have to take care of is the bird for the month. And I know you're on the edge of your seat waiting way ahead of this date for, I just want to get the bird up to have a good look at it for myself when I'm talking about it. But are you ready? I think you're going to be a little surprised when you see this bird. It's a little bit different, this picture. Sorry, this is taking a while, but the picture's way back in my history. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So here we have the month of December. I'm going to put it up, cover the screen, and give you enough time to grab a screenshot. Then we'll talk about it. So here you go. So, did I leave it long enough for you to get the picture you needed? Is that enough colors for you to choose? Now, the first thing I want to point out, and this is particularly for people that are fairly new to this, Mal, you do not have to get every one of those colors in your picture. You can pick just one. For instance, overall, when I look at that picture, I see green. And if you want to make a solid green item or a green that's variegated or a green that's tonal, feel free to do that. If you want to pick just two colors, red and green, or the blues are kind of hard to match, and the bird in the middle, I can't tell if he's an unusual blue or if he's purple. If you just want to pick red and do something in red, that's fine. Other than the birds, we got the green background with lots of greens, and we got the brown branch they're sitting on, and you're free to pick 1, 2, 3 colors. You do not have to pick every color in that picture because some of those colors would be very hard to match up. But I thought I would end the year with something that gave you lots of choice. I know that most of you like to shop your stash and use up things you have. So surely you have one of those colors in your stash somewhere. Oh, and there's black almost around every bird. They have black around their beaks. So if you want to say black and red or black and green, that would be fine. Okay? But there are a few colors that aren't in there, so I wouldn't be expecting them in your item. Now, what am I going to do? Just give me a minute. I want to grab something over there. Okay. I have to tell you that I had difficulty this month. I had picked out and put in a bag last year, it'd be a year ago, what I had thought I would do. And I had happened to get I guess you call it a rainbow gradient set from somewhere that was all sparkle. So, I would have loved it. And I put it in the bag. Well, I pulled it out to look at it. And what I discovered was, first of all, one of the colors was missing. So I must have pulled it out to work on something else. I thought orange was in this picture. So I was going to try and do green, yellow, and orange and red. It didn't have a true red in it. I don't have it now, but it was more a rusty red. So I decided that set, and it had a lot of purples and shades that went with the purple. And honestly, I have a hard time seeing purple in this picture. That bird in the middle, to me, is more on the blue lines. Anyhow, I decided I wasn't using that package. So then I thought, okay, let's go through my minis and pick out all the colors I have in my minis that fit this. Well, I must have had 5 different shades of yellow. I'm sure I have lots of yellow because you know I haven't used it. And it probably had just as many shades of green. Some were sparkle, some weren't. I think I had one red mini. And I looked at him and I thought, oh, one red, I don't know how I'd put that in with about 5 yellows and 5 greens. And I looked at it and I thought, I haven't a clue what I would do with these. I wouldn't enjoy, I really wouldn't enjoy working on it. And the greens were such a variety of colors of green. I couldn't even see them being in the same project. So I said, I gotta go stash dive again. And right near the top, this came up, and I gave a thought to, I think because it is December, I'm going to make something in this. It's Christmassy, it's red and green, and it sparkles. And that picture has a lot of green, and it has 1, 2, 3 birds, and another one with some red on it. I thought, okay, the picture doesn't look Christmassy, but red and green are in there, and I could get away with doing this. And so I had decided I was doing this until one other thing came to my mind. And I just went and picked it up. I remembered it was over there. And it's this. I got this beautiful green with sparkles, tones of green, and I got it from the color of my fiber as one of my mystery hanks this past year. She's not doing it anymore, but I got this. I got another one from her, and it's not sparkle. I guess I could choose it too. But I got thinking, this would be nice to work with. And by the way, this other Christmassy one is from Ravenswood. It's a Ravenswood. I've had it for a couple of years, and it's merino nylon. This green one is merino, cashmere, and stellina. Has 390 meters, where this one I know has the 390 meters, which is about, maybe 420, 25 yards. And this one probably has, it doesn't say, but her typical one has 400 meters, which is 437 yards. So I'm kind of caught between the two of these. I don't know if you have an opinion. Then my thinking was, well, do something with both of them. I can make 2 items. I can make a couple of nice one skein scarves like this. And if I have time, I might make them both up. But I think what's going to happen is I'm just going to, when I have time to make something and I get ready to make something, I'm just going to pick up whichever one I feel like making and have a pattern for. I don't know. I have other greens up there as well, but I'm not going looking any further. It's either going to be this, or it's going to be this, or both. Not together, both different projects. So it's one of those 2. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I have a little bit of choice this month. I also, I'm sure I've said it before, I have all of my bags filled for next year. I received an order from, Sweet Georgia Yarns. I had made an order to get a couple of, I think 3 minis and 1 big hank. And I'm not showing them to you because the 3 minis went in one project and the big hank went in another project. And that means that all of my bags for next year are filled. I'm ready to go. And I have the pictures chosen. And we will start with our butterflies in January. Now, for those that are new, and I will do this again at the beginning of January, I want to make sure you understand what is going on here. Every month I show a picture. You saw the picture for today. Oh, I meant to put the picture up with my choices. I'll do that in a minute. You see a picture and you use the colors in the picture as an inspiration to make something. I want to stress a little more this year that you use the colors in the picture and try not to include a ton of other colors. It is the colors in the picture that we are working with. And you must make the item in the month that we're talking about. So you can't go stash diving in items you've made last year and pull out something you made that matches those colors. You are making them at the time that we are looking at the colors and talking about them. You may make anything that is in yarn related. Some people have hand-dyed yarn. Some people knit. Some people crochet. You could do needlepoint with yarn. Some do weaving, could weave. You see, you can make anything. You can make amigurumi, you can make blankets, you can make big shawls, you can make whatever your heart desires to make. And you saw a very good variety today. They change a little bit with the seasons. You've seen a lot more hats and scarves at this time of the year. In the summer, you don't see too many of those. It's whatever you like to make. You have a month to make it, and here is where I'm going to make a change in what is happening. In the past, I've always given you a deadline date, and I will give you one in just a minute. And then I put together a slideshow that I show at the first of the next month. Well, I've decided it doesn't really belong at the first of the month because I post like I did at the beginning of December. Today's video, I post December Mal, and then I show you the pictures from last month. So it's not really December's Mal, it's November's Mal. And then I show you the inspiration for the next month. So I've decided, starting now, that I'm going to start to do the slideshow on the very last day of the month. Right now, you are working on December's Mal. And at the very last day of December, the 31st, I will do the slideshow for the month. And I won't be calling it much of anything. I have a special graphic for year end. It'll be the year end. And then I will show, at the same time, I will show the inspiration for the next month. So in January, you'll know the color of the butterfly and so on, and you'll submit your pictures. And January 31st, I'm going to show January's Mal. That's the change I'm making. It won't really affect you much, except that everything is going to shift one day earlier. But I'm pretty sure that I can use, at least this month, the same date as usual, and that's December the 27th. I can make that the submission date. You must get your pictures sent to me at my email address, judyscreations21@gmail.com. It's in the description box, hasn't changed. It's always in the description box. And I must get it by midnight Eastern Standard Time on the 27th so that I can sit down on the 28th and make my notes and get ready to do the videotaping, which I will probably do on the 29th. But I like to leave myself a little bit of leeway because you never know when life will get in the way. And you know that I have these extra responsibilities now. So I like to be sure. And the 27th seems to be a good date that I've picked pretty much every month, even in the shorter months. It still has been working. So we're going to stay with that, the 27th of December. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, I was going to show you the picture for the month with this color I think is great. And the picture for the month with this color, it works, no problem. I kind of like this one better. But I'm thinking I'm going to try and find time to do both. But before I get to either one, I still plan to work with these two. This one is called Candy Cane Lane, and this one is called Poinsettia. And I think I'm going to go with a suggestion that was made to me. So I think I'm going to get busy and cake them tonight and get started in making a shawl with these. And then I will get to those two items and get them made for the month. Then I should have a little bit of time, free time, to take my time. So we picked a winner. I've shown you the yarn. I've given you the dates. And I've told you the little bit of change. And I know you're all looking forward to January and seeing the butterflies. And I'm looking forward to it too. I'm always looking forward to the next month. And one last comment. Today is December the 1st. Tomorrow, December the 2nd, we start doing the 12 days of Christmas. So be sure to come back tomorrow for the beginning of the Advent calendars. I have 3 of them that I will be opening and talking about what I'm doing throughout the month. They won't be long episodes, but I hope you will enjoy, will join me in that. So until tomorrow, happy hooking.